Hi folks, this is Peter Boykin. This is the morning driving to work. This is hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. So, getting to talk to people. You know, there's a reason. There's a reason why so many people have technically walked away. A lot of, there was a whole campaign. There's a whole campaign my friend Brandon Straka created, Walk Away. Hashtag Walk Away. People walked away from the Democratic Party because they were tired of the craziness of the Democratic Party. How they would elect anybody or do anything in order to win. The danger, folks, is that the Republican Party also seems to be doing that same thing. Or in a primary, they'll elect somebody who's just popular. Herschel Walker. Might not exactly be the best person for the job. Mark Robinson. Then again, we get fooled. I think Mark Robinson, we kind of got fooled. But then we'll be told we need to continue to promote those people regardless, because we got to win. Overall, we got to win. We got to take back the House. We got to take back the Senate. We got to have enough votes. We got to do that. And we got to put in who we want to put in order for us to win. Problem with that, folks, and that equation is that we ended up with some bad people. And then later on down the line, we call them rhinos, we call them crazy, we'll do everything we can to get them primaried, get them kicked out, treat people like crap, talk people bad about our own party sometimes. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. So I was writing somebody I know, figured I'd go live. And as anybody knows, I am more right of center. It's kind of like that meme going around, and there was a long discussion on that one meme where, hey, I might have been standing on the left or whatever at one time, like on the edge, but the left pushed me over to the right, and the right caught me. And as they caught me, they made sure I was okay. While the left said, "Why are you over there?" "Because you pushed me over here." I've never been a registered Democrat, but I have voted for Democrat in the past. Because I saw the Democrats had a little bit more heart sometimes. It's that bleeding heart liberal thing they talk about. Also for me, personally, the Republicans have always given off this anti-gay vibe. But then again, the Democrats do it too. They're just really good at hiding it. So, like so many who've crossed onto the unaffiliated, I personally feel both parties don't get the concept of we the people, nor liberty in general. The parties are too commercialized and all talking points and do whatever it takes to win. And that's a problem. Now, I know I am never going to be a Democrat. I'm not a liberal, I'm not a leftist, and I'm not a Democrat. No matter how much some issues I might seem woke or so-called left on, because people have designated certain topics to be certain things. It's kind of like the gender issue. Gender means you gotta be this to be a man, or this to be a female. Same thing kind of goes. You gotta be this to be a Republican, or this to be a Democrat. If you don't do with this and you don't do with that, then you are pigeonholed in one or the other. Instead of it being your personal journey that determine what your political party or affiliation or where you are on that scale. And it doesn't matter about one or two things. It depends on a well-rounded person And most well-rounded people are centrists, are in fact unaffiliated. Now the Democrats have heart. They've had heart. But they can't run a damn thing. They can't run a thing. And then it seems like that the Democrats would like to spend more time. They say that they want to help people here in America. And you would think that's America first. But then they like to spend a lot of time helping the immigrants and other people across the world. You know, I feel bad too about other people in the world. But we can't help everybody. Unless we help ourselves, we can't help everybody. It's like being on that airplane, and I've talked to it. When that oxygen mask drops down, you are supposed to take care of yourself first, and then you help others. And we are on a helicopter or airplane or whatever that's falling. It's falling from the sky quickly. And we keep helping other people, and we're not worried about ourselves. Well, what's going to happen if we're not around anymore? These people ain't going to have nobody else to take care of them. Now, the Republicans are more stern. They're no-nonsense, pull yourself up from your britches, you can do it yourself, you're able-bodied, and you can do it. That's why so many people arguments I had with the people over the financial stuff with student aid. I had so many arguments with them over it. You got to understand. Yes, I know a lot of people should have done better, blah, blah, blah. But when somebody addressed me about, well, that's your problem. That's your mistakes. And, you know, that's your poor choices. And I'm like, my poor choices? I got master's degrees in IT, the IT industry, which is a booming industry, which I should have been able to get a job in, which I get stuff in all the time about. But yet, HR will not hire you because we are in the information/misinformation age where HR departments don't care about just your skills. They care more about, you know, well, your ethnicity or where they're going to get the global points on. Or the fact of what's your political creed. So they look you up. Somebody like me, I got a Wikipedia page, I'm known, I got stories, I mean, this whole trans movement, I'm not against trans, but the articles will pop up say that I am, and I'm a danger to transsexuals, etc., etc. So HR looks at me as a liability, so guess what? I don't get hired. I can't get hired. When Kanye West and people like that who speak nuts, you know, they lose their political accounts. People are losing their banking accounts. People are getting shut down. People are getting kicked out of society. People in our own party are getting picked out from other people in our own party because they'll dress people's far right and stuff like that. That's a problem. That's a major problem. We have gotten to a society where it's hard for people to be able to live. So my poor choices are what? Becoming a Republican? Creating gays for Trump? Being a bold and strong, you know, Republican outspoken person? Is that my problem? A lot of us become politically homeless because I don't agree with everything that our party does. Republicans need a little bit more heart. And just like the Democrats, the Republicans are too quick to judge without thinking about the whole picture. I was an engagement manager for years. I worked between multiple teams. Indian-based team, American-based team with cultural differences. It was my job to engage both to come to a solution to our problems. That is the reason why I like to engage in solutions. Not name-calling. Not separating. People play baseball. They play sports. They might be on opposing teams, but they're sitting there to play a game. And they play multiple times. And this week, one team might win. And next week, another team might win. There's an ultimate winner on these issues, but they come together to play together the same game. Said this before, with the Democrats, they might be playing baseball. The Republicans are playing soccer. You're not even playing the same game. So, but there's too much establishment crossed in with the Christian right. People who don't understand that there needs to be a separation of church and state. And there should be. 14th and First Amendment say that the church and the state need to be separate. People can argue with me all this day all about that. They gripe about it. I am not telling you that we can't be Christian and still run for office. What I'm telling you is your job is to the people. You are a representative of all people. When you take a job, you are we the people. That means you have to address it all. So if your religion tells you to restrict people, you're not supposed to do that. And if you're a Christian, that means leaving Christ and you're Christ-like. And Jesus did not restrict people. He come all to the table. I know some people say, well, he only came to the people who basically, regretted and repented. No, he would ask people to repent, but he still would have them to the table. It's not your place to judge. So, with that, the Republican Party seems to be keyed in on e-celebs, e-celebrity, certain key factors, key points. You'll see them attack things, and then when others like myself will pull them out and go, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right, we address those issues. And we get knocked down and argued and called a leftist or a rhino or etc., all sorts of names. And some people don't like us because we go against the agenda. And there is an agenda on the left, there is an agenda on the right. I think nowadays people are fed up with the party lines because a few key issues that they both seem to use far too well to scare and shake money out of our wallets. And believe me, I am tired of the stupid emails and texts that prey on people being stupid, like contest here, or you're not a Republican, or you're a Democrat, or blah, blah, blah. And it's just the stupidest emails. And I hope that when I run for office, and whoever sends out emails from me, oh my God, I don't want the same kind of crap. But I wouldn't be surprised if somehow it still gets sent out, because that's what works. But both parties, they seem to be a uniparty at most times. And most people are fed up with it. Everyone is suffering due to both parties' transgressions. And that's the point. Both parties have flaws. So no wonder the hashtag walkaway movement was so big. Because it wasn't just Republicans. It wasn't just Democrats walking away from the Democratic Party. Now it seems Republicans walking away from the Republican Party. Now when I tell people to hashtag go right, I know right versus left. To me, it's go right, do right, then you'll be right. So when I say hashtag go right, I'm not talking about go far right. I'm not talking about being an extremist, because there's extremists on both ends. I am talking about going right as in doing the right thing for America. And if the Republican Party can do better than the left, which they do on most cases, then we're better to elect Republicans. But we need to elect Republicans who are good for this country. To wrap this up, I'm still not happy about the whole Madison Cawthorn issue. How people worked hard to get him primaried. And I know I've talked to people and they go, oh, he was so crazy, he was off the rails, and now we want a stable candidate. I, for one, didn't like Madison Cawthorn's red flag screw up. I raised hell about that. And then I looked more into it. Madison Cawthorn with Bo Hines, I griped about Bo Hines too. They both went to a log cabin event to meet Trump. Okay? Madison Cawthorn, a wheelchair-bound, strong, young, fresh party, up and coming. They loved him. They pushed him, to be there. He was like their strong symbol. Then he gets in, and they can't control him. Who knows if they were having cocaine orgies? We don't know. But people sure did react a lot different. That's when they wanted to get rid of him. Yes, he got stopped a couple of times at the airport. Yes, he had a gun with him. He's a gun enthusiast. But he also wheeled himself out there. I can't say he stood up, but he wheeled himself out there for Donald Trump when he was a freshman for our vote. Stop the Steal to speak there, and he had to deal with the J6 committee and all that trying to mess with him. He fought against the COVID issues. He was bold. He was out there. But yet people say, he's crazy, he did some crazy stuff. And I've asked people, give me a list, but nobody really give me a real list. The true moment is that they wanted a stable candidate. A stable candidate in there. Somebody who might be good, but he's just another cookie cutter Republican candidate. Republican, that one, I think his name's Chuck. Just somebody that they can control, somebody that they can understand, somebody that at the end of the day they know he's going to do whatever they want him to do, and he's not going to be, influential or whatever. They want candidates who don't beat the papers. They just do their job. They show up 9 to 5, do their job, and that's it at the end of the day. There's people like Madison Cawthorn, they shake things up. Fortunately, they used old videos and anything they could do to point a picture on Madison Cawthorn, a very homophobic picture. Madison could be gay, he couldn't be gay, or not be gay, who cares? It had nothing to do with how he runs the job. So do I blame him for going AWOL right now since he did not get reelected? Why not? Why not? The people in your party rejected you. The hell with them. But I think that Madison Cawthorn has a bright future if somebody would scoop him up and do well. I'd love to have him on my campaign in the future. But who knows? He might be one of the biggest leaders for people unaffiliated. Who knows? In North Carolina, we have a large unaffiliated base. It's growing. Now, I'm telling you, folks, I am a Republican because I believe the people who show up make the party. And if I was to go and leave the Republican Party because I disagree with the establishment at most times, then I would be doing a disservice of what I think the Republican Party can be. And I would just make them just as bad as the Democrat Party if people like myself didn't stick with the party. So I'm a Republican. I might not agree with everything, but I am a Republican through and through because I believe in our republic. I believe in liberty. That's how it is. God bless everybody. Remember, hashtag GoRightNews.com, GoRightNC.com for new North Carolina information in the future, and PeterBoykin.com.